My girlfriend tried to baby trap me but didn't know I had a vasectomy. I'm not the baby daddy. This happened to me over the course of a few years. This is a throwaway, and the story may turn out longer than I thought. The backstory. I have some buddies at work that like to go out with their so's on double dates sometimes. I was invited on several occasions, but let them know I'm not currently dating. So what do? They get me a date, of course. It's a co-worker of buddy, so we'll call her P. P was a very shy, quiet girl from a family that wasn't as strict or super religious. She seemed out of place at first, but looking back I think she fit in with the crowd more than she let on. I won't give the so's or buddies labels, because they are not relevant for most of the story, but they are important for how she and I met, and one or two other occasions. So as 3 couples went out, we hit it off, and become fast friends, drinking the night away, and I end up kissing her and paying for a taxi to take her home. The scare. 6 months later, me and P are living together. She moved in with me, and we are great together. We don't fight, and if we do, it's something silly that blows over seconds after it begins. One night after we had done the deed, I looked down and noticed my condom broke. Panic mode engaged. I start freaking out and tell her what happened. She immediately calms me down and says she's on BC. I get relieved, but then relief turns to surprise. She never mentioned this to me before, did she? She passes it off as something she mentioned to me, but I was busy with Fallout New Vegas at the time. Yeah, this was around when that game came out, so I probably didn't notice her say anything. Again, looking back, this should have been a red flag. I chalked it up to extra precautions on her part and felt really good about how well we worked together. She was being responsible for both our sake. BC along with condoms can only make things extra safe, right? Nope. She gets sick a week later, complaining that she is always in the bathroom and can't hold food down. Yeah. You know where this is going. The P stand for pregnant. Now, I am usually a pretty calm guy, but man oh man was I flipping my shit. Not at her, mind you. I make pretty good money, enough for her to only work part-time and go to school. I don't go to school. I worked, and still do, but in a much higher position, in a trade career which I won't name for anonymity's sake. Babies change things though. That meant she would have to stop school, stay home for several months, and then full-time job. I wasn't worried about me, but her. I can manage, but she wanted to finish school and be stable enough so that if we ever decided to have kids it wouldn't be in this kind of situation. Well, she ends up getting an abortion, begs me not to tell her parents, who again are not super religious, but this is a big negative to them. It took months of her talking to them and me courting her to let us live together. She and I were both 21 at this time. So of course I wasn't going to say anything. I was almost shocked at her decision. That's right, hers. I hoped she would get one for her sake, and mine in all honesty. But I would have stayed and raised that child with her through hard times because I loved her. For about 4 months, we barely talked. I thought things were over. But then one night everything just magically went back to normal. I thought yes, we are okay again. This was also a red flag, but in my excitement, I don't think I realized it. Now, having a big scare like that, and knowing she was on BC led me to the decision some of you may or may not cringe at. Vasectomy. I had one. Now, I went in for the consult with my primary care doctor and was referred to where I had it done. A week of ice and paid vacation. Now, I know what you are thinking, and I saved some juice for later just in case. And although I should have, I didn't tell P. Now, I know that. You're thinking WTF? But honestly, she was on break at the time visiting family. I wanted to wait and let her know when she got home and not discuss it when her parents are around. Wasn't sure how they would react if they overheard. I'm sure you can see how much her family opinion matters, and that will come up later too. I was back at work on light duty and business picked up fast. I had no time to even text or call her letting her know I needed to talk to her about something important. By the time she got home we both got so busy that I didn't even mention it. This may seem odd since it's a major game changer for a relationship, but I was also a young man whose life was and still is mostly full of constant go go go, work work work. Shit just vanishes to the cold storage sometimes. The heartbreak. Fast forward 2.5 years. I was promoted a few times. Was high off life. Loved my so. And we were thinking about getting married when she finished school. By this point our relationship had progressed enough that we no longer used BC pills or condoms. Now, she said she got an IUD to prevent pregnancy. I thought that was odd at first, thinking about how I was snipped. Oh well, maybe she just wanted to be extra sure. Well, not so much. About midway through August 2014 and she gets sick again. This time we have no idea what she could have. I rush her to the ER, and become that guy who took his so to the hospital, to find out she is pregnant. Now, the first thing most of you guys probably think I did was scream fuck you or cheater. Nope. I acted just as surprised as she did, told her it's fine, we can get through this and I'm with her 100%. The truth. Now state laws differ, and your results may vary, but here, unless the father signs a birth certificate himself in person, it doesn't count. I made sure, because the first thing I did after getting some time alone from her was see my company's attorney for a consult. He recommended me a good person to seek legal counsel in paternal matters. A week and a half or so later I meet him and make sure if I have undeniable proof that I'm not the father, I would have no responsibility for the baby, or P according to our state laws. So I had my assurances, and as far as she knew, it was probably mine, right? After all, we were not using any BC at all, none. Turns out she had scheduled the appointment, had it put in, but was removed because of complications that caused pain and swelling. This I was not informed of. Now, normally I leave personal belongings alone. I trusted her, and did not want to be the overbearing so that looks at your shit by accident. We both had our own phones, PCs and tablets. So she didn't suspect a thing when I searched through literally, no joke guys, hundreds of emails of her back and forth setting up dates, times, and prices. That's right, she was effing for cash, or so I thought. Turns out, she was actually effing for free, and selling meds that she stole from patients. The abortion she got was not the first. Oh, did I mention? She was in school to become an RN. She would sneak meds any way she could. She would take them from old people, young people, cancer patients. She was a sneaky fucker too. She hid all of this from me, and her teachers, as well as her parents. Her biggest supply was using people she had previously fucked/sold to. She would have them get hurt, or help them get hurt, and then get them prescribed pain pills. The revenge. I hope you stuck it out, and I hope this belongs here. For the entire time of her pregnancy, I said nothing. To her, her parents, her friends, her teachers. She was close to graduating, and close to being a mom. Everything was so happy for her. Everything was going great. Well, I got an apartment and paid rent for it secretly. The place we lived was in her parents' name. Reason being, at a moment's notice they wanted to be able to kick me out for wronging their daughter. This turned out to be an amazing blessing. Started selling my stuff to put into a fund for the baby, but was really moving it to my new place. She thought I was crazy when I sold my gaming rig, laptop, and Xbox. I said, "It's all for us, baby." Now, this next part was risky, but I had no choice. I needed some help. I talked to the buddy who got me with her to begin with. They will be B, and so B had left the company I worked for, so this would not negatively affect him in any way. I needed more info on P's part-time job so that I could get back at her. So was her boss, and she was exactly the same to them on the outside as she was to everyone else. To this day, I kinda admire her ninja ability, but it's also why I have no regrets or guilt. I told them everything, showed them everything. B, and so were shocked, sad, sorry for me, sorry for her, then effing furious with her. How dare she manipulate them like this? So stated, things go missing from the workplace, cash drawers short, but P is always covered some kind of way. She had been framing people, and was just very careful and calculated in her plans. So said she, in all honesty, never looked real hard at her either. Her facade had everyone fooled. Well, lucky for me. So said, in P's maternity leave, security cameras were replaced, and better quality. We made our plan then. In comes the week that she is due. She is wheeled into the hospital and stays for 3 nights before she births him. I have no problems with the child, as you will soon find out, but at the time he was a symbol of misplaced trust, and a broken heart. They have to take the baby away after a few minutes. He is jaundice, and although he seems fine, want to make double sure. She reluctantly lets him go. B, what should we name our son? I tell you readers, I must have looked like the cat from Alice. I sure felt like I was. Our? You mean your? What color she had left drains, and she stammers to speak before I put my hand up and tell her. I got a snip 6 months after we started dating. Her face almost seems to cave in. That confirms for me the baby is only your baby, not ours, baby, but yours, and yours alone. Alone. Tears, nothing but tears. I told her that she was never to speak to me again, and walked out. I told the medical staff that under no circumstances was my name to be on that certificate. I was a concerned former boyfriend that she cheated on, and she was a junkie. Lab reports on the cord blood unfortunately later showed this to be true, but the baby was fine. D, and that I was only here to make sure her baby was alright. I was not to be contacted, and if she says I'm her boyfriend, don't believe her. If I needed to prove that to them, I would. I left, packed my shit, and left to my new apartment. Pro revenge. I know what you're thinking. That was not really that harsh at all. I didn't think so either. I waited until she was back at home. I left my keys, and $400 in an envelope at her place so that she had money when she was out, and also to bait her. I knew that she would either A, buy some more pills, B, try and sell her busted cooter, C, maybe just maybe get her shit together and fix herself, D, cry to mommy, work, and school. I'll take A, B, and D for $400, Alex. That's right, she did all 3. Now, I know at this point I'm okay on the work front. I'm also okay on the parent situation. The moment she was released, her parents picked her up because I wasn't there. She called them, complained, told them everything. I was going to be thrown out. But what's this? I'm not there. She was probably upset she didn't get the joy of kicking me to the curb. Instead, there was the envelope for her with $400 and the keys. I don't know what went through her head, but she was already back into her normal routine before long. She must have thought I skipped town completely. Calling work leads to a not here, they were informed. Asking so leads to be hasn't heard from him. She thought she got off the hook, with one baby, and nothing else. A while later she gets fired. Security footage shows her manipulating drawers and framing other employees. She tells her parents it wasn't her. They believe her. Next, her school gets a big package from an anonymous source letting them know she was recently fired for stealing, and substances. Now, I am not sure how she got through school, and the hospital without these substances in her system popping a red flag. I know they tested the cord blood from the baby, and I specifically stated she was a junkie. I never dug into it, probably should have. Her school has zero tolerance policy against substances. The package also contained the emails, as well as messages to and from buyers, sellers, and anyone else she did shady shit with. Did I mention, the hospital she worked at also got a package? And the police. Her parents disowned her, fired, expelled, and CPA was on her case. To wrap it up, she lost everything, including the baby. He's fine now though. His real dad was found. She basically went back and looked for anyone that could have possibly been the father at that point in time. Kinda impressive considering. The guy was 29, call him D, had been divorced, and was lonely. I understand. He had a great house and income, so he was given custody after a paternity test. Best part? The other couple we were with on the first date? She fucked that guy. That's right. He actually still at my company too. I remember when he went through the divorce. I didn't talk to him much, so I had no idea he banged her. It only took one time. She never told anyone she met for sex she was in a relationship. He had no idea we were dating. He didn't talk with me enough, and I was in a different part of the workplace at that point. So, in the end, she has no home, no friends, no job, no career, a rap sheet, and now her kid is with his dad and she gets zero visiting. I'm single, still hang out with her parents, so, and D, have my job, my apartment, and best of all, I'm not the baby daddy. I, 33M, overheard my girlfriend, 28F, making fun of me pretty brutally to her best friend, 27M. When I say brutally, I mean brutally. My girlfriend, Jenna, and I have been together for 2 years, a little over. I'm a veterinarian and we met at my office. She had just moved to the city and brought her dog in for an ear infection. We started talking and what should have been a 15-minute appointment turned into an hour-long talking session. I've never been so smitten with a woman before. Before Jenna, I lived the bachelor lifestyle. I was beginning to think I'd just stay single forever, even though that lifestyle of nothing but casual flings was growing really old and empty. Jenna is a charismatic woman with a lot of friends. Her best friend is a guy, Dylan, she knew in her old town. I trust Jenna, but I'd be bold-faced lying if I said that her relationship with him doesn't bother me at all. I don't get angry with her or fight about it. She's reassured me that they've been friends their whole lives and have never had any sexual relationship. I'm secure and I'm not insane, so I accept that they are friends and have tried to buddy up with him as well. He has visited the city 3 times. He's a cool guy, however, he does not seem to like me much. Jenna says he's just protective. It comes off a whole lot more like jealousy than protectiveness, in my opinion. Jenna just finished up grad school this spring, but she's had a really tough time finding a job. We have lived together for a year and I've been understanding that she can't help pay rent, etc. Right now, I'm very financially secure, so it isn't an issue. However, I am careful to not become a reason for her to not get a job and have her own financial independence. I just think it's important for everyone to have this sort of independence. So, without being pushy, I've let her know that she does need to start paying half of the expenses once she secures a job. Anyway, she texted me at work on Monday to tell me she got a job. It's a job she really wanted and had to go through some pretty grueling interviews to get. I was so happy and proud of her that I decided to leave the rest of the day at the office up to my staff and took off early without telling Jenna. I bought her favorite booze, grabbed a bunch of Chinese takeout, her favorite, and bought her flowers. I had bought her a nice necklace that she'd seen at a store a couple of weeks ago. Nothing super extravagant, but it has a shark on it and that woman is just obsessed with anything to do with sharks. I'd hidden it in the basement and figured I'd give it to her soon. Totally surprise her with tea once she'd forgotten about even seeing it in the store. I got home and came in the side entrance to the basement so I could grab the necklace and then surprise her. When I came up the basement steps and opened the door, I could hear her talking on the phone. Normally I wouldn't stop and listen, but I heard her laughing uncontrollably, like belly laughing. It was pretty cute, so I figured I'd wait for her to get off the phone before I surprised her. She was talking to Dylan. Nothing new there. They talk at least once a week. Then I heard what they were laughing about. It took me a few dull minutes to realize that she was laughing about our sex life. She said something about how no, he can't even compare to XBF. XBF had at least 3 inches on him. I feel bad every time I eat a baby carrot around him because it must be traumatic to see me chomping down on something the same size as him. It would almost be cute if it didn't suck so much. His body is amazing as long as he keeps his boxers on. Lots of laughter. So look, I don't really give a crap what people on Reddit think about the size of my member. But I do think it's important to say that what she was making fun of wasn't even true, which in my opinion makes it even more hurtful. I mean, I don't know about the XBF. Maybe he was a horse, but I'm very average. Just good old-fashioned average. Not going to upsell myself here. It's nothing to write home about, but it's also not laughable. I've never felt self-conscious. It is what it is. To hear her ripping me apart to this guy that she knows I have some concern about was just beyond hurtful. Hurtful doesn't cover it. She also made fun of me for being gorgeous but not super smart. I'm actually highly educated. This isn't even remotely a concern of mine. I know I'm smart. Gorgeous and super smart with an average-sized penis. Thanks very much. I left after that. Did I throw the flowers out of my car window? Yes. Did I cry in a parking lot? Yes. I think she may have heard the basement door close. Maybe she even saw my car driving away, because she started texting me pretty quickly after I left, asking when I was coming home. That was Monday and I haven't brought it up. I don't know how. I think I'm still processing everything. It's horribly embarrassing and hurtful. But damn, I love this girl. Not saying I'm going to forgive her necessarily. I just want to stress how hard this whole thing is for me. I know I need to bring it up to her. But how? Any suggestions on how to start this conversation with her? I'm extremely hurt and I don't know if I can forgive her for this. TL, doctor, my girlfriend made fun of me with her male friend. About our sex life / my penis. Pretty hurtful stuff. I feel like a puppy that just got kicked in the face. Joking aside, I'm devastated. I was planning to propose in the next few months. Now I don't see how I can even forgive her and stay with her. Advice? Edit. Wow. Hey, thanks everyone. I just wanted to add that I definitely will be breaking up with Jenna. I grabbed a beer with 3 of my friends tonight and told them. Their sentiments match the majority of yours. Dump her and do it quick. I called my mom and told her about it. Yes, I told her everything. Embarrassing as it was, we are pretty close and I wanted to tell her the whole story, and I've never heard her so angry about anything. She knew I'd bought a ring for Jenna. I will post an update after I do it, probably tomorrow, though it may take me a couple of days to post about it. I'm going to be pretty wrecked emotionally. Thanks again for all the comments/messages of support and encouragement. I really didn't expect everyone to be rooting for me like this. Update, I, 33M, overheard my girlfriend, 28F, making fun of me pretty brutally to her best friend, 27M. When I say brutally, I mean brutally. Well, supportive Reddit strangers, I stayed strong and broke up with Jenna Thursday evening. This has honestly been the most dramatic couple of days of my entire life. I am exhausted. Things got pretty ugly on her part. Sorry that this is so long. A lot happened. At the suggestion of my friends, mother, brother, and many of you, I talked to her in a private but still public place. The thought behind it was that someone who can be so cruel and reveal herself as a liar is potentially capable of trying to turn things around on me and say that she left me because I hurt her or some other nonsense. I'd like to think she wouldn't do something like that, but who knows, especially after everything that has happened. Better safe than sorry. I thought about just boxing up her stuff and breaking things off with no explanation. But it has been over 2 years together. I decided the best thing to do is to confront her calmly and then hear her out. If she had an explanation, I wanted to hear it, even if it didn't change my decision to break up with her. So I took her to a wine bar in downtown that has those little individual booths with half curtains. She's been sugary sweet since Monday, which tells me she either A, felt guilty about what a jerk she was, B, thought I might have hurt her, or C, she just knew I'd been acting distant and was totally clueless as to why. So she dressed up really nice and, despite everything that has happened, I can admit that she looked stunning. She was also very affectionate and kept making a lot of sexy comments about all the things she wanted to do to me later. Normally, my precious little baby carrot would have been thrilled by this, but given the circumstances, it was difficult to hear and act normal. I had rehearsed what I was going to say to her over and over, so as soon as we sat down and got our wine, I started. I can't remember word for word. My adrenaline was kicked in pretty high gear, so it feels fuzzy. I basically started by saying how much I've loved her, how she's the only woman that I've ever felt connected to so profoundly that I opened myself up to her completely and trusted her. I told her that she's the only woman I've ever thought about marrying, that I've gone ring shopping for. I left out the part about how I already bought a ring, and that I've actually imagined having children within the next few years. She kept interrupting me to say or to tell me how much she loves me, too. Then I looked her in the eye and asked her point blank why, if she loved me so much, she horrendously made fun of me to Dylan. I have to say, the look on her face was a bit satisfying. As expected, she denied at first and acted like she had no idea what I was talking about. She said Dylan knows how much she loves me and that she's never made fun of me to him. I kind of just looked at her and said something like, "Come on, Jenna." But she still denied even after I told her that I'd come home early on Monday and had hurt her. It was pretty frustrating, but I kept my cool. I just told her that she and I both know she's lying and that the things she said were unforgivable and that I couldn't wrap my mind around why she would say things like that to anyone, let alone Dylan, especially because she was lying just to be able to rag on me. Still denied and acted like I was crazy. She said she loves me so much, that she's not dissatisfied with our sex life and would never say she was or complain about my size, and that she knows how smart and sweet I am. That's why she loves me. If I hadn't heard what she said to Dylan myself, I would have believed her. She deserves an Oscar for that performance. Some commenters asked if I was sure she was talking about me when I overheard her. When she was talking about her ex-BF and his cracking of a dick, she said my name when she was making the comparison. I'm definitely sure that she was talking about me and that she was lying to my face about it. I told her that I would drive us home and she could grab the essentials she needed and her dog. My brother and his girlfriend would be at the house, too. I wanted to make sure there were other people there just to have witnesses that I let her get her stuff and didn't do anything aggressive or destructive. I told her I'd pack the rest of her stuff up and leave it out for her to get whenever she could. She was in total disbelief that I was actually breaking up with her. She pleaded with me, but my mind was slashes made up and I wasn't budging. It was hard not to cry in front of her though when she kept saying how much she wanted to be with me forever and that she had planned to be the mother of my children someday. I own my house, and since Jenna hasn't helped with expenses by paying any rent or utilities, I wasn't too concerned about, putting it bluntly, kicking her out. She kept asking me what she was supposed to do and where was she supposed to sleep. I told her it wasn't really my problem anymore and that she has plenty of friends she can stay with until she gets her own place. Basically all of the furniture and decor is mine. She just has clothes/toiletries/ etc. To get out. All of the redecorating she did to my house was done on my dime. Then came the waterworks. She started crying and saying that she didn't understand how I could do this to her. She said she thought I was a nice guy about 1,000,000 times. I told her I am a nice guy, which is why I didn't just throw her stuff on the front lawn, change the locks, and give her no explanation. Then, I swear to you, this woman dug the knife in even deeper. She said she didn't know why she said those things to Dylan. She finally acknowledged it, and that maybe it's because Dylan brings out the best in her and she's able to laugh about things that would normally make her cry. I guess like my penis? I told her that it's really sad to me if what I heard was her at her best. It was petty and usually I'm above making snide comments, but I told her that she can go back to her hometown and go live with Dylan or her 9-inch dick ex-boyfriend. It was amazing to watch how fast those tears disappeared. Apparently I am an asshole. I don't know how to treat women. I'm a loser, My penis is tiny, I'm going to be alone forever, she never really loved me and I was more like a friend but she didn't want to hurt me so she stayed with me, makes a lot of sense? She would have said no if I'd proposed. Again, I am a loser and an asshole, and in case I didn't get it the first time, she meant it when she said my penis was a baby carrot. Oh, and I will die alone. I told her dying alone is preferred to dying married to a woman who is cruel and doesn't love or respect me. No joke, she started to scream. Not words, just a long, extremely loud scream. It was alarming and then she just booked it out of there after calling me a disgusting pig. After paying the bill and apologizing to the waiter about the drama, I left and Jenna was just standing outside crying. I know what she did was horrible and all the things she said just a few minutes earlier were horrible, but I still didn't like seeing her like that and didn't want to just leave her on the sidewalk. I'm in New England, it's already pretty cold here. So I told her to let me give her a ride back to the house so she could get her stuff but that she needed to leave and go stay somewhere else, as soon as she packed a bag. She agreed and we didn't talk at all in the car. Talk about an awkward ride. My brother and his wife were at the house when we got there. His wife stayed inside while Jenna got some stuff together and my brother waited outside with me. That went by pretty uneventfully and she had a girlfriend come pick her up. I got my key back from her before she left. She texted me throughout the night and the texts ranged from sorry to sad to angry to really angry and back again. I didn't answer any of them and only texted her yesterday morning to tell her that her stuff was on the porch and that she should come pick it up while I'm at work. I didn't hear from her all day until it was almost time for me to go home. Pretty nasty text wishing me about every ill you can wish a person. I didn't answer. Well, I came home to a disaster zone. She smashed everything. I don't know if she had made a spare key at some point that I was unaware of or if she knows how to pick locks, but she got into the house somehow and she destroyed it. She smashed stuff that's irreplaceable. She ripped up the furniture. She clogged 2 sinks and left the water running. She left my refrigerator open and threw food all over the kitchen. It was wrecked. The only considerate thing she did was lock my 2 dogs up in a bedroom. I guess so they didn't cut themselves on glass or eat the food. I have 2 vehicles, one for everyday use and then an SUV for work. I use the SUV for when I make house calls and may have to bring a large or exotic animal into the vehicle to transport it to the clinic. In the middle of all the drama, I'd forgotten I'd given her a key to the SUV in case she ever had an emergency and needed to drive somewhere. I went out to check the car and she trashed the inside of it, too. She dumped flour all over the inside in addition to tomato soup. The stuff is just stuff, I suppose. It's more the fact that she could do something so childish and awful on top of everything else. It blows my mind. Last weekend I took her to a play, went out with her and friends. We played Monopoly one night and made up our own drinking game with it. We hung out and watched Netflix, made love several times. And this weekend my house and vehicle are destroyed and so am I. Amazing how fast things change. Not my finest moment, but I was so pissed off that I got right onto Costco's instant delivery and ordered 25-pound bags of baby carrots and had them shipped to her friend's place, addressed to Jenna. 100 pounds of baby carrots. They deliver within an hour. I got a slew of interesting and insulting texts from her that evening. Yes, it was petty, but the only regret I have about it is that it was a waste of food. Hopefully she donates them or cooks some of them or something. So, that's that. I blocked her last night after the nasty texts from her just kept coming. I'm feeling pretty beaten down right now and I've cried more than I have in a long time. It's obvious that I made the right choice. Jenna is clearly not emotionally stable or mature. She really is cruel and I know I do deserve better. I have spent a lot of time since Monday thinking about myself as a partner and trying to figure out what could have led to her obviously having some resentment or something for me. I'm going to be 100% honest here. I work a lot. I try to still make time for the people I love and I try not to bring work home with me when I've had a bad day. But sometimes I do. I know this. Jenna and I have fought about it before and I have really tried to pace my days a certain way so that I can get home at a reasonable time and I've tried to leave bad days at work as much as I can. However, anyone who is a vet or has worked with one knows we're always on call for emergencies. Sometimes we have patients that we have to check on or stay with throughout the night. Time off can be challenging. It's doable, but it's challenging. My staff is incredible and can handle most situations, but I do still get a lot of calls or texts from them when I'm on vacation or off for the day. I'm sure there have been times when Jenna felt second best to my job. Well, I guess I know there have been. She's told me as much in the past. I did try to make changes but there's only so much I can do. As far as I can remember, I've never been purposely mean to Jenna. I've had bad days and been grumpy or absent. We've had our share of disagreements and fights but nothing unhealthy or excessive. I really thought we had a solid relationship and that we were both happy. I know I was. It's hard to not question myself and wonder if I really am a letdown or if I neglected her to the point that she felt unloved enough to act the way she did. I don't know, but I do know that no matter what, the way she put me down and the way she reacted to breaking up was way out of line. I didn't deserve that and that's on her. So thank you for rooting for me, Reddit. It's been great to read all the nice words and advice. Time for me and my baby carrot to eventually find a woman who appreciates us for what we are. TL, Doctor, I broke up with Jenna Thursday night. Did not go well. She got nasty and ended up destroying my house, car, and me. But I did it, it's over, and I've blocked her from my phone/social media. I also sent her 100 pounds of baby carrots in a moment of angry weakness. Edit, I did file a police report and took pictures, which will hopefully help with recouping some of the money lost through insurance. As far as the police report, it's very doubtful anything will come of it since I can't prove it was her. Same goes for trying to sue her in small claims court. And honestly, I'd rather not deal with her anymore. I'm going to hope that insurance will cover the damages and just move on with my life. For more stories please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thanks.